week. It was totally my idea, but I got stomped on and nobody heard me, and then someone else came up with it, and they got credit for it. It wasn't fair.
Sounds about right.
I had slight input, I think like 5 minutes worth while I was driving.
Yep.
Yeah, that was about it.
Kind of hard to play and drive at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so what do Barrett and Roe remember from when last you were with the party?
That's a good question. The last thing I remember was a lot of fighting and explosions, and Narga showed back up, and Spider was being dragged away by the squirrels, and his pony wasn't happy about that. And that was the one I remember being present for. That Barrett was not.
Yeah, I don't even remember that part.
Yeah, I don't think you were there for that. But then we had, the brief few minutes that we could chime in last week or the week before. I don't remember.
It was the week before.
Okay.
I think the last full session Stefan was here was before we went into the cave.
Yes.
After the were creatures, and Shayna was gone. So he and I rode the carpet into the cave after the were creatures.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if he was actually there for the fight inside. Because I think he was gone.
I was not. That's the last thing I remember.
That's how far back it's been since he was here.
Okay.
It's been like over a month.
Well, we're going to go ahead and start with a brief rundown of what happened in the cave then, and you guys can start asking questions as we go. So, when the party ran into the cave after Memenon and Orsa, the werebear that was guiding you, you found that there was several cages full of young children, and the 3 of them had been staked out on the ground. One of them already had its throat cut open, and the blood was soaking into the sand of this circle of runes that were beginning to slowly pulse and glow. Barrett ended up chopping off the hands of one of the kids to get him out of the manacles.
I remember that.
Okay.
I asked about that. I was like, hey, would you be willing to, if we said chop the kids' hands off because we can reattach them? And he was like, yeah, do it. So I remember that.
Well, it was like, I think it was a life or death situation. I'm like, well, no hands you live, hands you die.
And so, unfortunately, the blood coming out of that child finished the ritual, and whatever the Beast of Malar is began coming through to your world. Narga almost jumped into the portal with a bunch of kids going to the abyss.
Of course.
Because he misheard what Sim said.
Did he think Sim was throwing like a blood ritual party?
No, he thought Sim was basically encouraging to jump through the portal to make sure you escape the tidal wave and at least get somewhere else. But Sim was actually trying to point out the portal that the Enchantress had opened, because Sim had contacted her, basically letting her know that there was about 13 kids that were about to come running out of the cave. Yeah. So the party jumped through the Enchantress's portal.
Except for Narga?
Except for Sim. Narga actually did jump
Oh,
through.
lovely.
Sim, on the other hand, used a illusion to make it look like he had followed you all after shepherding you in, and then when the portal closed behind you, he bowed, and his illusion
Sim's not going home. Sim's not going home. Like, there's a reason he is not there, and he's vacationing in the real world where it's way more fun.
Right.
So he saved y'all, and then he's going to keep the party going, because he's got carpet. He ain't afraid of no tidal waves.
Is this plot twist where Sim is the bad guy the whole time?
No, he's just running away from his responsibility.
I was genuinely saving you all from the tidal wave.
It's not his fault that everyone's probably stupid enough to get caught in some kind of contract there.
And better that than dead.
Yeah, arguably.
Death is preferable. No.
let's see. The werebear Orsa, before you guys jumped through the portal, had been taken away by Memenon. You do not know where she went with her. And then, so now you were in the Feywild. And the Enchantress actually fully healed that boy's hands, so he has his hands back, but he seems absolutely terrified of most of the party. And the Enchantress threw a feast to welcome you into the Feywild.
Don't eat anything, please.
So Narga so far has eaten some meat. Spider has accepted taking food, though he hasn't actually eaten any. The children all ate because they had been starving for a couple of days. And while the festivities were just beginning, another satyr showed up, claiming to be Timian, Sim's brother, and was demanding all of you come with him to speak to the marshal. While he was demanding this, the last episode was so chaotic. A couple of Kelpies were part of the welcoming Fae that were bringing food out, and Narga decided to try chasing them down and try to eat them, which ended up in this chaotic game of murder pony tag.
Of course it did.
Yep.
Narga.
Yep. When Narga finally gave up on chasing the Kelpies, the Enchantress had
He didn't get one?
He did not actually get one of the Kelpies. The Enchantress used some of her charming ability and suddenly became what each member's ideal beauty would be.
Okay.
Which brings us to Narga again, as he was back at this point, who let out a blood-curdling, terrified scream and ran off.
I love Narga so much.
Yep.
My favorite. Yep.
And Spider did resist the Enchantress. However, became rather friendly with the Redcap that had come with Timian, and proceeded to go hide up a tree.
Cool. Can you elaborate a little bit?
So Spider became very nervous when the Enchantress had done her charm effect, and became like an awkward teenage boy, and became so embarrassed that he went and hid up a tree.
Bless Spider.
Yep.
I love him too.
Your new Tabaxi companion Flash continued to play Murder Pony Tag, and eventually also went and hid up a tree.
Because of the pony or the Enchantress?
Him because of the pony. He had become convinced that Bramble, or Briar, the Kelpie, was obviously it, and so he could not let Briar catch him.
Did everybody get really high, or is this just kind of... No? Okay. So there's no excuse. This is just the personalities come to light.
Yeah.
So your cookies didn't get rated.
They better not have. Reiteration, I'm the only one with pot.
Yes.
Nobody else gets any. I mean, now that we're in the Fae, who knows? In the real world, I was the only one. But that probably changed.
Not as yet.
Yes. I was already enthralled by the Enchantress, wasn't I?
Nope, you were enthralled by Savra.
Would that affect the Enchantress's pretty voodoo?
I would say that, yeah, it possibly would.
Okay.
Because you are fully charmed by Savra.
Yeah.
I would say that you'd have advantage on the wisdom save against
Okay.
Enchantress.
Should I do that?
Yes, if both you and Barrett would, please.
Okay.
What does the hat see? That's what I want to know.
Can you see through the hat's eyes?
Is it a beret? A really slutty beret? I don't know.
What a salute.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with it's a really slutty beret.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just when when the hat sees that what little cognizance it has, that's what it translates into.
All right, wisdom saves, please.
Wisdom.
All right. Yep, you are fine. And you are also fine.
Snap.
So, this satyr, who has introduced himself as Timian, is standing there, probably pinching the bridge of his nose as Narga has screamed and run off, and the enchantress is pulling her shenanigans, and half of your party is playing murder pony tag.
Can I attempt a kind of commiseratory glance with him? Like, I know, I want to apologize, but it's not my place to do so. I wouldn't actually say any of that, but just look at you like.
Before you go getting all empathetic with Timian, he did quasi not quite threaten everybody that they needed to come see his father immediately. And
My father will hear about this.
no, everyone needed to see his father immediately. It wasn't even like a hear about thing. Like, as far as he's concerned, y'all are fugitives and you have to go see his father.
All right.
And the enchantress is pulling guest right and all that jazz, so he can't
After
do a whole
murder
lot.
pony's done.
Yeah, his hands are kind of tied right now because you guys have guest right here, and it's technically the enchantress's domain. He tried playing the whole bureaucratic tape game, but he is not as good at that as his brother is. So he's just kind of sternly disapproving, watching everything go down, biding the time for when it's done, even if that's like a century from now, and then he can take you to his father.
Well, if he's being that uptight about it,
He's the exact opposite of Sim.
cancel my comment. No, if he's not even, never mind. I'll just ignore him and watch chaos.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy watching this murder pony party
It sounds like that's over.
while I feast.
Oh, you're eating.
I thought we had the feast laid out in front of us, or was that over?
Nope.
I did tell everybody not to eat, though. I don't know if you listened or not, but I suggested that maybe stick to eating your own rations for now.
Oh no, I stay here for 1 month every piece of food I eat. No? Okay.
Sorry, I don't know what you're saying. Never mind.
Oh, was it Hades and...
Are you talking about Hades
Never
and
mind.
Persephone?
Thank you.
She ate
Disney
6
Hercules.
well, that's the original one. She ate 6 pomegranate seeds, but that's irrelevant. And that was only at the end, but okay. Anyway, so yes.
Anyway.
Yep, so that is where we are right now. Is there anything any of the three of you would like to do?
What was the enchantress saying to us, or what was she doing?
So she actually offered you all hospitality and had laid out the feast before you and seems to be somewhat delighted in torturing Timian.
He's kind of a sourpuss.
Well, I mean, I still won't eat anything, but I'll tell her I appreciate her offer for hospitality. And not necessarily accepting it, but I appreciate the gesture. And we'll hang out for a bit.
Okay.
I guess try and coax people down out of the trees or deal with the Kelpies so that they come down on their own. I don't know.
Yeah. I think we might have to wait until the next session to actually be able to do that part.
Okay, that's fair.
Unfortunately, because everyone had just went like all over the place.
I have a question. Did Carpet make it through the portal?
No.
And what about the pony that Spider had?
Yep, Horse made it through. Spider has named it Horse at this point.
Horse.
And Horse seems completely happy and content in the Feywild.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Is he partaking in pony kill party?
He actually is
Yeah.
not. He is standing underneath a tree, munching on some grass.
Okay.
Every
And so
so
what happened to
often,
Carpet?
yeah, every so often, Horse will like raise its head up and like watch the murder ponies, and then go back to eating.
Sucks to be a murder pony. This grass is great. All right, I for one, I am actually going to partake in the food or buffet
Okay.
that she has laid out before me. Because I've been through a lot of shit and I'm starving.
You also have like the self-preservation instincts of an already dead creature, so that's fair.
It'd be
My hat-
funny if the mimic like
My hat's
scraps
really
every
hungry.
food that you touch out of your hands.
My hat is really hungry and feeding on my brain, and so I think I should feed him so he doesn't continue to eat me.
Yeah, the mimic will just go to town on the buffet until he's so stuffed that he's just this plump little feathery ball.
Slutty beret.
I don't know. I guess make small talk. Like I have no idea.
Yeah.
Make small talk specifically, I guess, with the enchantress, because
Okay.
Timian seems intent on getting people going, and it doesn't sound like that's something we'll be able to do this session.
No, probably not.
So yeah, let's chat.
Okay.
So, sorry, I got an inquiry. How did the portal appear, and why did she pull us through? Sorry, as like a catch up.
Yep, nope. That's kind of what I was expecting the session to be. So, the portal appeared outside of the cave, and it looked like a shimmery gold rip in the air. The only person that saw it open up, I believe, was Sim. Everyone else, when you came running out after Sim, saw the Enchantress standing there and beginning to escort the children through. She didn't actually, like, full on invite you in. Sim was the one that was, like, corralling everyone and encouraging you to jump through.
So it seems she was there for the children, and we took advantage of the opening.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Sim technically called in the children and then also took advantage of the opening to get all of you out of there. Mhm.
Hmm.
Yes. All right. So, is there anything else you guys would like to know?
I'm gonna inquire to the enchantress, like, why did you come for these children in particular?
Oh, well, Sim let me know that they were going to be available.
Available for as like talking through eating my mouth full.
Available as in they were going to be little lost children and they needed to find a new home.
How about everyone else who's at threat from the tidal wave?
So, go ahead and make me a persuasion check on this one.
Okay.
As the Enchantress still just kind of has a shit-eating grin on her face.
Of course.
I forgot that I'm not persuasive. I forgot that's not a thing that I really. Yeah, no, that's not a thing I do.
She says, "Oh, I'm not worried at all about anyone from directly where you came from and the tidal wave.
Just the kids.
Well, yes, I mean, it was a perfect opportunity for them to come explore.
Where would you like them to explore?
Into these dungeons. No, I'm kidding.
There's all kinds of places here for them to explore and play and learn
Learn valuable life lessons. Like, don't eat the food or agree to contracts or any of the typical Fae stuff. Oh, I was going to ask how everyone is faring, I guess, health-wise. Who is or isn't injured still from the fight?
Everyone pretty much needs a long rest at this point.
Okay.
Narga is, if I remember right,
Out of spell.
Yeah, out of spells completely.
Ooh, he needs a nap.
Yeah, I want to say Spider still isn't at full health. Who else took damage during the fight? Someone else had gotten really damaged, and I forget who, but they haven't had...
Sim definitely got hit pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say Sim was hurt, but he's also... I can't do anything about that because he's not here.
Nope. He's taking a nap on carpet, flying across, the new ocean.
Good call.
I heard Carpet almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carpet almost died. It was close.
Carpet almost went to Fuego.
Sim turned him invisible and jumped off and told him to flee for his life.
In the most noble sacrifice I think we've seen Sim make, which is very fitting. Because if it was going to be for anyone, it would be for Carpet.
Sim just called in heavy fairy favors to get you all to safety. I'm just saying.
No, yeah, but I mean, like, self-sacrifice. Self-sacrificial, and of, like, I'll die for you. And it was Carpet.
Not for his party, but for Carpet.
Ah. He did what he could for us. Saving Carpet's quote-unquote life is the important
Well, then he summoned
True
the
love.
giant red dragon to distract the wyverns so that y'all could escape. Or no, they weren't.
That was-
Were they wyverns? I forget what they were. Of course,
They
that
love no
Narga.
bounds.
So Narga wanted to attack the giant dragon, and
Weren't they chimeras?
yes. Sorry, I
okay.
didn't want wyverns. I just
No, you're fine, because you said wyverns or whatever they were. I was like, I swear, I remember what it looks like, and then my brain couldn't remember the name for it.
The one that almost took 1 billion fall damage. I'm going to...
If I can't get them down out of the trees, I'd be happy to send a little bits of healing to whoever I can with the assumption that we're going to take a long rest at the end of today.
Okay, sounds
So.
good.
Heal whoever I can reach.
Can I do an insight check on when she's like, oh, lots to learn and explore?
Certainly.
Okay.
What you should do is roll survival and stop eating food.
She definitely has plans for these children. It's a little hard to tell exactly what's going on, but, yeah, she's not doing this out of the generosity of her heart.
So it seems malicious.
Not necessarily
do I get a-
malicious, but possibly she views...
Ulterior motive.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
ulterior.
not telling you
Definitely
that.
something in her favor.
Mhm.
What do you hope to gain from these children that they couldn't gain themselves?
Oh, what does anyone wish to gain from bringing people into your family?
How does one enter your family?
Oh, typically with agreements, marriage.
Get out of here, you're in another realm.
Timian's here. Sim's not. Timian's here, though.
While we're talking to the Enchantress, is Timian paying any mind to it, or are you just impatiently kind of waiting?
Timian doesn't give a rat's backside about these kids. He is there to bring Simeon's friends to Dad.
Oh, two things. First of all, Simeon, I love. Second, sorry, I didn't know that was his full name. Second of all, what I meant was more, I know he doesn't care about the kids or any of that. Is he reacting in any way to our conversations, like scoffing, or are you just ignoring it?
Nope. Yeah, typical face stuff for him. Like, this is just run-of-the-mill Enchantress being Enchantress.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty standard for her in the Feywild.
Well, I mean, the kids are alive, at least, and, is there any way that could look through to see how my people are faring. If enough of them got out, how things are going back in that realm.
Oh, are you asking for a small favor?
No, more just if you would know.
Oh, I certainly know. But I mean, if you want to check in on them, we could come to some sort of agreement.
Oh. I wouldn't. But Ro wants to know, what would the agreement be?
Oh, a favor for a favor, I would think.
Well, yes. What would...
Possibly a couple of your future eggs, or I couldn't
Sorry.
keep a straight face.
I know. I saw you trying. I was like, don't.
I tried so hard.
I feel like you would have gotten it if I didn't start laughing too. I'm sorry.
Possibly a couple of your future eggs, or a perfect grove in your home city to open up a weakened portal between the two realms.
A grove, unfortunately, I couldn't speak to as I don't have full rights to all of the land in my realm, unfortunately. Now, can I say or ask something out of character about the Fae? Because they're a little bit different than whatever. So, Ro never plans on procreating. It's not part of her necessity for her heritage and her lineage to pass on, their leadership in their line. They don't need to have kids. They can just be like, oh no, you'll do, and then raise them to be the next leader.
Mm-hmm.
So can she agree, knowing full well that she's not going to have kids to give this person?
So, because you're
Or would they
lizard
see
folk,
through that? Yeah.
say again?
Or would the enchantress see through that?
She might see through it.
Okay.
Though, if Ro has any, as she's thinking about that, if there's a tick that would show that she's, thought about it, the enchantress would say, oh, they don't have to be fertilized, honey.
Oh, way worse. Way worse. Becca. Good God. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Thank you. I appreciate that, but unfortunately, those are conditions to which I don't feel comfortable agreeing at this time.
Oh, very well. Do you have a suggestion for a trade, then?
I'm gonna butt in and cut her off and be like, I have a lot to offer if you're looking.
Are you just offering to play sperm bank real quick? Is that what this is?
I've been around.
Oh, I forgot about the book Kindle.
I was a woman once. I mean,
You were.
I was a woman.
Yeah,
once.
that's right. It wasn't just the disguise. You actually. That whole thing.
And I was fucking gorgeous. All right.
Hey,
You want-
Steph.
You want
don't
some
forget you
beautiful
have that.
babies?
Steph, don't forget you have that Kindle with the dirty porn stuff on it. Fairies will probably eat that alive.
Offer to read her one of the stories as a favor because you're such a good storyteller.
Ooh, I do have. If you're looking for
Entertainment.
Into a little entertainment.
I am always looking for entertainment.
Have you heard of Tentacles on the Ice?
Why, no, I haven't. What is Tentacles on the Ice?
Have you not heard of, what was the author's name?
Pearl?
Pearl.
Pearl? Have you not heard of Pearl?
I have not.
Well known through every dimension.
Well, this is certainly intriguing. Information is always useful. Please, begin. And she actually sits down on a big blue glowing mushroom.
And this was in agreement for letting me check out my people, yes? I'm making sure that those are terms were agreed to before he starts reading the story.
Yes. Read
Okay.
the story. I will show you your people.
I'll sit back and let him do his thing.
Do I need a performance check as I'm going to read and...
Yes, please. please give me a performance check.
Oh, I could Google
Oh,
fanfic
God.
for you real quick. Make you read some of that live.
Mm.
You're no fun.
She seems slightly disappointed as Barrett attempts to read the tentacles on the ice and keeps blushing bright red as he gets to different passages and stops mid-sentence and then has to restart. It's a very awkward rendition. But true to her word, the enchantress will take you to a small pool and will wave her hand in front of it. And the water on top just kind of ripples a little bit, and you actually see Needy. It's kind of
Yay.
like looking up from above, and it kind of pans through the different cities. They are perfectly intact. There is no water anywhere to be seen that had gotten crushed by. The people that had fled the two cities are being cared for by the rest of your people, and they look like they are making preparations to return to those two cities.
Okay. So the evacuations look like they went as planned with hopefully minimal casualties.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, please read the lusty Argonian Maid.
I want to actually like write it now.
I have to find this now.
Passage. Are you Googling it?
It's probably on the Google box.
Find it. I don't know. Well, I'm very satisfied with my people being okay. What my compulsion with Narga, has that been fulfilled? Because I did find him and was able to.
The compulsion to find him, like that part of the Gaius, has been satisfied.
Okay.
The other part of the Gaius where you report to Savra of what Narga is up to is still in effect, and the part where you can't tell anyone about the Gaius without taking damage is still in effect.
Okay. Does the enchantress, after showing you this stuff, go back to her feast?
Yes, she does.
Could this be an opportunity for me to sneak off and try and finish that bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have the talking stone, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I'll sneak off then and use that.
Okay.
Like a walkie-talkie. Magic walkie-talkie.
Yep, magic walkie-talkie.
Okay.
Okay. So you sneak off and start using the sending stone. Go ahead and give me a stealth roll. And this is for Timian and Barrett's against their perception.
Oof, they are gonna find me. My stealth is not good. Oh, yeah. Even if no.
Timian, would you give me a perception roll real quick?
I have to look that up real quick.
Okay.
Because, I didn't want to delete my character sheet from here with Simeon in case we're going back there. So Simeon's all over the place.
Nice.
And you said what kind of roll?
Perception.
Perception. That's going to go well for him, I think. Oh, really? It's making me log back in.
Oh.
She wants those royal egg bloodlines.
Oof.
Right?
It's so bad.
I did find the lusty Argonian man.
That's super cool for you. I'm stuck on that, and I'm going to be probably for the rest of the night. I'll be they didn't even fertilized, honey. Like, just that line is so perfect and so fey. I'm very pleased. I low-key want to like put a design on a mug or something, and it's just like a little hatch of eggs. They don't need to be fertilized. If you get a really, really weird, like, Hanukkah or Christmas gift, there you go.
Okay.
Perception. What? Oh,
Your perception bad?
crap. Now I'm looking at the wrong character sheet that I screenshotted.
Uh,
So I need this to load so I can figure out what my perception is. I know it's going to be good. It's because, he's a monk.
right.
But seriously.
Oh, I forgot to send you my write-up of the Way of the Cloven Hoof.
I came up with my own. It has been tweaked by the Michelhinis and stamped for approval. I'll send it to you later if you'd like to see what we came up with.
No, yeah, fine.
Seriously. I can't get anything to load. I think it's because I'm on Roll20 here and it just doesn't want to load
Okay.
the app. It's bugging me. What's our proficiency bonus at this level? Because I know he's got an 18 in wisdom, so probably a +7. We'll just guess.
Should be +3 right now.
So yeah, it's probably +7 then.
All right. So, Timian, you do notice Ro, the lizard woman, kind of walk off. You almost didn't see her walk off, but Barrett, you're standing there one moment talking to the Enchantress and Ro, and as the Enchantress goes back to the feast, suddenly Ro's not next to you.
I noticed, but to kind of give Ro an out, I continue reading from the Book of Kindle to entertain her.
Alright, Ro, you manage to walk off and take out your sending stone. And on the other end of the sending stone, you hear Savra's somewhat gravelly voice, as she is a gigantic gnoll. It's like, darling, how is it going?
Well, I suppose, as well as can be, we escaped the tidal wave, and I found Narga.
Oh, excellent. And how is he?
Also, well, it seemed up a tree at the moment, but I'm sure he'll come down eventually.
Up a tree? That's an odd spot for him.
I think something spooked him. I'm not sure what.
Oh? Whatever could have spooked him?
I'm not sure.
Anything?
I really don't, because we all saw different things. So
Yeah. Anything new or interesting about him? And this is something that I forgot to mention, that because Narga has been snacking on flail snails,
is he glowing?
his nails actually look iridescent, and his fur has started to get a little bit of a extra shine to it. And when you guys were in the cave during the fight, Narga had cast like a darkness on himself.
That I remember. Yeah.
And all you could see was his red glowing eyes, so...
Okay. I don't know if it was our brief absence or separation, but he does seem somewhat better kept together than before, somewhat cleaner maybe, is a little shinier. He may have learned some new things wherever he went.
Did you find out where he went?
I don't know, did I?
Not as yet.
No, not yet.
He's only alluded to the Shadowlands, and it doesn't make any sense right now.
Okay. No, nothing new.
To answer Barrett, Narga, when he came back, did not have the flail snail shell with him. He did have a new amulet around his neck. But he has like this pouch that apparently was full of flail snail eggs.
Oh yeah, and as they were hatching, he was eating them.
Yeah. And,
Oh my god.
Every so often you'll see like a tiny one like this crawl out of his pouch and like...
It's adorable.
Yeah.
So you just have some like popcorn chicken snail.
So sad.
So Savra will say, well, excellent. Please keep me updated. I am so interested to see what happens with him.
Of course. Because, again, I know Ro doesn't see anything wrong with this. I just think she's this really enchanting, wonderful person.
Yep.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but she kind of was really underhanded with the whole thing. And by the way, Scott
Not
was
good.
playing Sabra that game.
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
Unsurprising. Okay.
All right. So, Timian, would you like to do anything?
Timian can't do anything that he wants to do as long as the Enchantress is offering them the protection of guest right. So he's in the pickle of stubbornly awaiting guest right to end so that he can escort these trespassers to his father's domain.
Okay. Cool. Well, unfortunately, unless there's something else you guys want to know about or specifically do, we're probably going to have to call it there so that we can figure out how you're going to wrangle everyone else.
All right. That actually works really well, though, as a catch-up session, just because it has been so long and we've been so in and out. But
now we're going to lose Scott and Becca for like, what, 3 weeks?
Not quite that long. Next Tuesday, I should be able to play, so it should be
Okay.
good.
okay.
He will have duty again that day, so it's possible, like today, he won't be able to join us, but I at least should be available. And
Okay.
then that following weekend on the 28th, we actually leave for Scotland, so we will be out for like a week and a half at that point.
So are we playing Malice this weekend then?
Yes, we are going camping, but the area we were at, from what I remember last time we were there, we still had decent enough service where we can make a hotspot from one of our phones and
Cool.
should still be able to play, though instead of streaming, I'm probably going to record and then just upload to YouTube.
Ah, that'll work.
Cool.
What day is that? That's going to be Saturday?
That is Saturday.
Okay, hold on. I want to open that so I remember Saturday and what time?
Noon.
Yeah,
Noon our time or
Yes, noon our time.
Yeah, noon your
Okay.
time, because it actually is 9 Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
Speaking of that...
And I'm actually. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm actually underway on the 28th for another patrol leg, of course. So.
Oh, but you weren't.
Are you back before I leave?
Well, hold on. Are we still streaming, or should we cut that? We're going to start talking dates.
Yeah, we need to stop, because
Yeah.
if we're talking